It never fails. Every year as the weather gets warmer, our calendars fill up with celebrations like showers and weddings, Mother's Day, even teacher appreciation, and a lot of those come with the need to bring a gift. Well, don't you worry, because today I've got a ton of thoughtful and beautiful DIY ideas for items that you could totally make yourself versus buying for this busy summer party season. This is Whiskey and Wit. My name is Whitney, and on this channel, I love to share all things DIY and budget home decor. So if you love those two things, be sure to hit subscribe down below so we can be craft buddies. Also, a huge thank you to Aura for sponsoring today's video and supporting Whiskey and Wit. We'll talk more about them and their awesome digital photo frames here in a little bit. But first, let's get into the projects. I'm gonna show you how to create this awesome modern rustic wood riser for under $15. So I started out at Menards and grabbed one of these 15-inch edge-glued pine panels. They're under $10, and I also grabbed some of these finial caps from Walmart. The pack was under $3. So my first step was to get out the 4 larger finials. You get 8 in a pack, and then I added some Gorilla Wood glue to the bottom of all of them to stick them together so that they were permanently attached. I just used a spoon because I didn't have a wood glue brush, and it worked just fine. And then I grabbed a heavy tray with some items to put on top of it to have it set. After about a half an hour, I took it outside and stained the entire thing with a new color that I am loving. This is Minwax's Early American Stain. It is beautiful, and I'm using it throughout this video. Once the stain was dry, it was time to add a little bit of embellishment. I decided to go with 3 black lines because I like a little bit of a moody touch. I like black accents in my decor. You could absolutely do a gray, a white, or a color depending on your style or the style of the person you're giving it to. I'm just using some painter's tape to tape off the lines so that I don't have to try to do a straight line on my own. And I'm doing 2 thinner lines with a thicker line in the center, kind of like a ticking stripe pattern. The great thing about this is you could do whatever you want on the top. You could add a stencil, a variety of different things. Once you're done, grab some sealant. I'm using a clear matte polyacrylic just so it is not shiny. I gave it 2 coats and this guy was ready to go. Some styling tips: you could add a vase, some candlesticks, and a candle like I did here. This would be great in a housewarming gift basket with a candle and some items. This would also be great for a wedding shower, and if you know your teacher likes to decorate, this would be great for teacher appreciation as well. Up next is another super easy wood DIY, no skill required. You're gonna grab one of these wood canvases from Walmart for about $6, and I am going through and staining the entire thing with Early American again. Then I grabbed a 4-pack of these clip push pins at Dollar Tree to hold my pictures. Now the silver didn't really go with my vibe, so I decided to take some flat black spray paint and give it 2 coats and make sure it was fully dry. Now my thought was to push the push pin through the wood because it was relatively thin, but it stuck out way too far in the back. So I popped out the push pin and then just ended up hot gluing it to my frame. You could save yourself some time and not have to worry about that if you don't do the push pin ones. I finished it off by adding a picture and some jute twine around the bottom, and I love how simple this is, but you could add pictures like I did here or some easy custom framed artwork like I'm showing here. So I went into Canva and explored all of their elements. I have a pro account, so I have access to a lot more elements. You can make some of these with a free account, but I'm just using the font Amalfi Coast. I'm finding a variety of different images that I can customize. This would be great for an engagement gift. Here you can change the skin color, hair color, outfit color. There are a ton of different options when it comes to couples. I just searched abstract couple and a bunch of these popped up. I also like to search watercolor, things like graduation, couple, home, things like that. And then I use that text to add a variety of different sayings. All of these are templates over on my blog that will be available for you. You can click on the link. This is a super custom curated piece that won't take you very long to do. You can even print it at home and put it in the frame. You could also frame these in the wood frames we made in the last project. If you need help with designing, I've got a full playlist on Canva. I will link it down below. And if you aren't interested in designing, you could go to Etsy and purchase a customized one as well. Tons of options. A couple years back, I had a friend gift me some DIY brown sugar scrub and it was amazing. Here's how you can make it with Dollar Tree items. You're gonna need some brown sugar or regular sugar. You can use either. A half a cup of coconut oil to your 1 cup of brown sugar, and then it's dealer's choice for vanilla extract. I like to add a decent amount so it smells really fragrant. Then I'm going through with the spatula, just mixing it up, and then I'm gonna add it to an airtight container. Just scooping it up. This is the consistency you are looking for. The sugar will exfoliate after the long winter that we've had. Coconut oil will moisturize and it will smell super yummy with that vanilla. In an airtight container, this will last you about 1 to 2 months, so you can make a cute little tag and gift it and make sure that people know how long it will last. This would be great for birthdays and also teacher appreciation, and this would make really cute DIY favors for a shower if you're hosting this summer. So what happens if you are in a crazy season of life and you just don't have the time or the bandwidth to DIY something, but you still want something to look curated, thoughtful, heartfelt, all of the things that would come with a DIY gift? That is where Aura comes in. Their digital frames make amazing gifts, not only for Mother's Day coming up, but also anniversaries, birthdays, retirements, housewarmings, even weddings. My mother-in-law has a May birthday, so we're gonna gift her one of these that I preloaded with a ton of fun photos and videos of her adventures with the grandkids. That way, when she opens up the box and opens the frame, all she has to do is plug it in and the photos are on there already. I also was able to easily invite people like my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, as well as my husband, so they could add their photos to her frame too. It's as easy as selecting your photos and then hitting send. And the app also allows you to remove photos. That is huge for me, so you can have full control what's happening on the frame. If you want to take a photo off or you just want to show pictures from a certain event, you can do all of that on the app. Opening the box, I was really impressed with the high resolution screen and the braided power cord. And once I turned it on, the neutral frame with the crisp photos looked amazing. Honestly, it doesn't even look like a screen. So setup for this frame was super easy. I swear, even if you're not tech savvy, you can figure this out. You can add and share photos whenever you want with the free Aura iPhone or Android app, and you don't need a subscription or have to pay any extra fees to use it. Oprah has picked Aura frames as one of her favorite things for 3 years in a row, and they're also Wirecutter's #1 pick for digital picture frames. If what happened at Christmas is any indication, these things are really popular and they will sell fast, so head over to aura.com to learn more about all their different types of frames, and also use the code WHISKEY for $20 off their top selling frames. Also, they are available on Amazon. I'll link that down below for you as well. Now, they do come in these really pretty boxes that make for easy gifting, but if you love to wrap gifts like I do, here is a fun hack to level up your ribbon game. It's super easy and really quick. I decided to start my wrapping with just some Dollar Tree craft paper that is going to allow my ribbon to pop. Then I went into Design Space and typed out a variety of different things so I could show you guys some different options. I just made sure that the text was 1 inch tall. Then I cut it out on some heat transfer vinyl and used my little Cricut mini press to press it down. You could use a regular iron if that's all you have, no worries. And I added "I love you, Mom" to this pink ribbon that I have had for literally ages. I just tied a bow and then I ended up dovetailing the ends, and it's a quick and easy way to customize the ribbon, and it looks super high end, and it only took you a couple minutes to throw together. If you don't have a Cricut, you could also get some iron-on patches from like a Hobby Lobby or a Michaels, or you could write on with a fabric marker. Here's another option. Instead of putting it on before you tie the bow, you can tie the bow, add a pressing pillow to the top, and then just press it right on your gift. The sky is really the limit with the ideas here. I also used it on these bottles of a wine. This one, I decided to take it a step further and add a decal. So I just grabbed this big bottle of Kirkland's wine and I took a wet washcloth and put it on the top and let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then I was able to peel off the label. I just used a Cricut scraper to get everything off, and then I used some Goo Gone to make sure there wasn't any residue. Then this is a free file over on my blog. It says pairs well with a new home. Cheers. This is the perfect housewarming. Also too, if people don't get to drinking the wine right away, whenever they do crack it open, they will think of you. You could add your name, love such and such. This would also be really cute if you're a realtor for a closing gift. I took some more ribbon and added welcome home to it, cut the ends, and just tied it up. This is something that you probably have taken to parties a ton of times before, but this just adds a little bit of extra oomph. Same thing with an engagement party, or you just found out your friend got engaged and you're seeing them. You could add the names and just engaged, and you don't have to worry about removing the sticker. So this is definitely the biggest showstopper in the video, and it is so beginner friendly. I saw this live edge hairpin leg bench on Kirkland's website for over $350, and so I decided to dupe it because you guys know I love me a Kirkland's dupe. I headed to Menards and I found this 1x12 by 4 foot board for $13, $12.99. And when I'm looking for boards, I'm holding it up like this to make sure that it doesn't have any weird curvatures to it. You also want to make sure that any of the chunks that are out of the wood, you don't mind that it's gone. I got it home and I used my orbital sander to sand everything down. I also took the corners at a curve, so then that way when this is in our house, Finn is not going to run into a sharp corner. Then this is optional, but I decided to distress it with a hammer. I'm just kind of pounding it down to create some distressing. And then again, that early American stain that I am loving, I went through and stained the entire piece. I gave it a couple hours to dry, and this is what those little marks are gonna look like. So between the really pretty knots in the pine, as well as those distress marks, this is awesome. Then I did 2 coats of polyacrylic, making sure that I let it dry a few hours in between each. And then it was time to attach my legs. So I got these from Amazon. The pack was about 20 bucks, very affordable. They're 16-inch hairpin legs. I put them in each corner, and then I used a pen to mark where I was gonna drill my pilot holes. When you drill your pilot holes, make sure you only go no more than halfway through because you don't wanna pop through the wood. Basically, your seat would then have holes in it. You're just giving yourself enough so you don't split the wood when you take these screws that come with it and screw them in. I did as much as I could by hand, and then I used my drill really gently to get it in the rest of the way. The last step was to add these little things on the bottom. They will help your bench sit flat and protect your floors. And my bench was done. So here, all you really need is a drill. That's about it. You can hand sand it. You can hand stain it. This thing is so cute. It definitely is a functional bench, but I'm going to use it for decor, and Finn approves.
What do you think?
This would be a great Mother's Day gift, but it would also be awesome for a teacher appreciation gift for a classroom. Could you see all the kids like signing their name on it, giving it to the teacher? That would be awesome. Also a birthday gift, or if you just know somebody that likes to decorate, they would love one of these in their home. I've been seeing candles made out of vintage vessels everywhere, and so I decided to hightail it over to Goodwill, find myself some really fun little teacups to make them over and show you how easy they are. You could also check out the glassware section if there are any cups that you think could potentially work. You want to be really careful with glassware. I like the ceramics a little bit better because I feel like, especially if they're microwave and dishwasher safe, they'll take the heat a little bit better. I ordered this kit off of Amazon. It had the wicks, the little sticker to stick it to the bottom, and these little popsicle sticks to hold the wick upright. I just poured some of this soy wax that I got from Amazon into a microwave safe container and microwaved it at 30-second increments, stirring it until it fully melted. I'm adding some vanilla essential oil here, but the scent is up to you, stirring it, and then I'm just pouring it right into my cups. Super easy peasy. You don't want to go all the way up to the top, but you want to make sure that it is full enough that you can tell that it's a candle. I let them sit for a few hours to make sure they would set up so that it looked like this, and then I just clipped off the top of the wick and you had a really cute candle. Now, a full safety disclaimer, I'm using these just as decor, so you may want to let your person know that you're gifting these to. I just don't want anything to break due to extreme heat. I'm not worried about that because I like to just put them out in vignettes and use them as strictly decor. So what if you're going to a celebration where you usually bring flowers or you send them ahead of time? Well, let me show you this next hack because it is my foolproof way to take cheap grocery store flowers and make them look like $1 million and customize them for any occasion. So most grocery stores will have a 3 for $12 or like a mix and match section. That's what you want. I also like to look for the reduced flowers because you can easily make them over and they're only a couple days older than the ones you're paying full price for. You're also gonna need a vase, so I like to grab mine that are wide-mouthed from the thrift store. This one was $3. You could also shop at a Michael's if you're looking for something specific. Just look for something with a wide opening. It's gonna help you get a fuller display. Once I got home, it was time to cut and sort. So these hydrangeas I'm cutting first. I need some primary flowers, which are the roses, secondary flowers, which are my hydrangeas, and then filler, which is filler in my other bouquet, as well as my carnations that I grabbed. I'm putting flower food in some lukewarm, kind of room temperature water. So I was able to get a dozen roses on sale for $9.99. These things were beautiful. They just had some icky stems on the outside. What you're gonna do before you put it in your arrangement is pick off any of those stale petals, and then it's gonna look honestly good as new. I started with just a regular chunk of them, about 6 in the center, and then I'm starting to trim my other pieces and other roses so that I create a dome effect. So your middle top is going to be the fullest point, and then you're going to want it to kind of curve around. It doesn't have to be super full right now, you just want to make sure that you're getting the various heights. Then we're gonna go in with the filler. So again, cut them at the angle and find any holes, also any huge blocks of color. So as I put those roses in, there's huge chunks of the pink. So I'm going in and filling holes and the kind of concentration of the pink. So here's what it's gonna look like when everything kind of comes together. You've got different colors, nothing too chunky, not any sections of too much color. Now to take it one step further, you can create your own topper with your Cricut. I go through and type out whatever I'm looking to do in a script font, so it's all one piece. I did Happy Mother's Day for this one, and when it was cut out, I popped it out, and as you can see here, the way that I laid it out, the P hooks to the H, hooks to the D, so it's all one piece. Then I just took some double stick tape, put it along that middle section, and hooked it to a piece of 1/4" trim. You could also use Dollar Tree dowel rods. You just want something thin so it hides behind the words. And then you've got kind of like a cake topper you can push right into your flowers, and it says whatever you want. Happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, welcome home, yada yada, etc. And those flowers look great enough, like they were just delivered, but you did them yourself. This whole arrangement was about $30, including everything, and they can keep the vase because I found it at Goodwill. Up next, we're making this Dollar Tree mantra mug, and that means it is only $1.25. You can get it around $1 if you find a similar cup at Walmart for 95 cents. They are beautiful mugs, and they take etching really well. So I first measured and realized I needed a stencil that was 4 inches wide. So I created this file. You might notice it before. It was in my Top Dollar Tree blanks video. It says you have enough, you do enough, you are enough. And what I did is I weeded the inside of the letters instead of taking out the outside to create a stencil. And then as I'm applying it to my cup, I'm just adding some little slits into the outside, kind of the white space of the vinyl. That's gonna help so I don't get any bubbles where they shouldn't be. Now, a lot of people will do this trick and think that there's going to be no bubbles. There are going to be bubbles, you just don't want the bubbles to sit at the edge of your letters. So here you can see there's a bunch of bubbling at the bottom, but none of them touch the word enough, and so that means I am good to go. It's all sealed down. Then I'm taking some Armor Etch that you can get at any craft store, and this is basically going to just eat into the surface layer of the glass. So I'm putting on a thick coat, letting it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, and then once it is done, it's gonna get thick like this. We're gonna put on our gloves, put it under some hot water, and rinse off all of the etching cream that's on the top. Then we're gonna peel off our big piece of vinyl and make sure we get off any remnants of the etching cream. I'm cleaning it with a little bit of Dawn Power Wash, and then I could take my gloves off and pick off the little pieces. Now, I've shared etching cream a ton. Make sure that you read the packaging and that you're being careful when you do it. It's a great craft project, but you also want to be safe. Make sure you don't get any burns or anything like that. This mug is awesome. I love the message. I really thought about teacher appreciation for this, but this would also be just a great pick-me-up to drop off to a friend with a Starbucks gift card and let them know that you're thinking about them, especially if they're having a tough time. Another take on candles are these awesome custom pillar candles, and they are so much easier to make than you would even think. So you're gonna need some sort of pillar candle. You can do whatever size you want. You're gonna need some parchment paper and a heat source. I'm using this embellishing gun I got from Michael's years ago. We're gonna start by taking a piece of white tissue paper and cutting it to the size of a regular piece of printer paper. Then we're gonna take a piece of tape and tape it down all around the outside. And basically your paper is gonna be a carrier sheet for the tissue paper to get printed on. Run it through your printer and it's gonna print like this. It may smudge a little bit, so you may have to try a couple times depending on your printer, but once you get it to work, you can cut it out, take that piece of tissue paper, put it on your candle, wrap it with some parchment paper, and hit it with your heat gun. As it heats up, the front layer of the wax is going to start kind of getting soft, and it's going to basically suck in the tissue paper. Let it cool, make sure there's no bubbles, and voila, it's in there. I have not burnt these with this on the front. I've heard people say you can and you can't. I just really love it as decor, super personalized. And if you don't like photos, you could also do a pattern or a quote. I hope this video gave you a ton of inspiration and ideas to pull from all summer long. Be sure to head down to the description to check out more information about the Aura frames and use the code WHISKEY for $20 off on their website. Thank you to them for sponsoring today's video and supporting Whiskey and Whit. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe if you're new so you don't miss a future video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!